Welcome to Developing Distractions. I'm Chris Carter, and this is going to be the introduction to the new series of live events that are completely unpredictable. These will be videos, watching my creative process, one of my creative processes, and I'm taking this opportunity to develop some of the ideas and inspirations that I've gathered over the years. And that it came to mind, if you watched my blog or read my latest blog, you'll see that I listed a lot of photographs that I've shot at different times. And I said I had hundreds of these, but I actually have thousands of these. And they've just gone into cyberspace and sometimes been lost to my memory, been lost, just tucked away in folders. And all the ideas that I had that were sparked when my attention was first grabbed by something I saw have been lost. So I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to let Jill in, as I will let all of you in when you decide you want to come. Hi, Jill.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Okay. So what I did was I started a few minutes early to introduce this as the introduction and what it is I'm doing. So I'm just going to continue on with that because I'm testing. This is also a test of the system and the continuity, using my phone as a continuity camera so that I can go back and forth. Okay, so along with this is not going to be any kind of a slick video because it could be interrupted by phone calls, which I haven't figured out again how to shut off all those notices, little dings saying things to me. But what I want to cover in the introduction is what I've already become excited by early this morning when I printed out the images, the photographs that I posted on the blog when I decided to do this. And before I show those, I'm just going to say what I think will happen with these. I'm going to, whenever it is that I'm going to do this, because I don't know what time, could be the middle of the night, it could be any time at all, any day at all, hopefully once a week, maybe even more than once a week. I will put a notice on because I'll create a Zoom. I'm still doing this on Zoom because the recording in the live events room is like 720 or something, but it's not fun to look at the recording because the quality is not very good. So I'm still going to use Zoom, and I think that'll work better. So I'll give a notice, and it will be half an hour ahead of time because I will be doing, I'll pick a photograph that I'm working with, and then I will do a 20-minute meditation where I'm just letting my memory, my thoughts, my plans, whatever comes up, that will determine how I proceed with developing the idea that distracted me, the image that distracted me. So then I'll have 10 more minutes to gather materials together because I don't know what material I'm going to be using until I finish with my meditation. And then I will start because none of you are going to want to watch me sit and meditate, I'm sure. So that will give you a half-hour warning, and then there will always be a recording. And I'm not going to edit these like I do the others. I'm not going to be adding reference. This is going to be, I'm going to record it and then I'm done with it because I would much rather move on to either another photograph to develop or to develop one a little further. And that's about all I'm going to say, because that's as far as I know until I really try this out. What I do want to share, and I'm going to share my desktop, is just talking about my response as I printed these out. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the continuity camera, and you can always interrupt at any time. If people join, I have to let them in, because I can't, for some reason, I can't let them just join automatically. So there will be a ding letting me know somebody wants to come in. I'll let them in. And then just, if you have a question, just ask me right then, because it'll be, even though I'm going to be concentrating on doing things, this hour session, however long it is to share a creative process. And you'll be watching a lot of different kinds of different steps in creative processes. Everything is unique. Okay, so I'm going to switch, and let's hope this works, right? I think that's it. Yes. Okay. So you can see this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And Jill, are you seeing this as a split screen, or are you seeing this?
No, I'm just seeing the black square and the photos on top.
Okay.
And your hands. And your
Okay.
hands.
All right. So this was the first one that I printed out, and what I did, I printed it on paper that's coated. It's one of the many papers I used years ago when I made my own giclée prints. And I still have a huge supply of this paper, which is really quite nice. The quality of the print is a lot better than if I just print it out on printer paper, copy paper. But when I looked at this, let me see. Okay. When I looked at this, I thought, those aren't very inspiring to me anymore. And I realized it was because I was printing the PDF file. Okay, now this gets into technology, which I'm not going to go much further with. But when I made this, I brought those images into Adobe InDesign, and then I made a PDF to make it easy. But look at the difference. And this is all about how I see things too. Okay. Then I went back and I printed it again directly from the InDesign file.
Yeah.
Instead of the PDF file. Okay.
Yeah.
So the difference is quite clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, in some of them, okay, here, if I saw that, I would never have taken the photograph. What I saw was this. And I was very excited by it. So I snapped the photograph. Over here, what I was excited about was somewhere between this one and this one.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, this whole process, and Jill, you and I were talking about this the other day, what goes into creativity, and we listed the 4 things: the imagination, the observation, the memory, and then we added meditation. And I think meditation is an important part because it helps to zoom in and remind you that you're responding to a lot of things. Now, for me personally, I have rarely, I would say 1% of the time, I've created a piece because of the subject matter. I just have hardly ever cared about the subject matter. What has always excited me is contrast, values, shapes, patterns. Okay, so yes, this one gives me more information of the lemon. This one excites me more because of the contrast, but this I also would not have taken a picture of because of this part. So by seeing these, it tunes me into what the next step might be. What is it between this and this that I might move forward with? Okay, so this was very useful. Here, reason I took the photograph was because of the little shapes, the contrast. Can you see the spider web here?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
So this didn't really show it, but I kind of like having both because it does give me more information. This does not mean I'm going to print 2 copies of everything, but it's just what came up. Here, this wasn't very exciting. This is, but as I remember, as I look at these two, the color was richer than this, but it had contrast. So I'm answering a lot of my own questions in doing it. Here, again, what was great were these shapes, these circles, the reflection of this Zen-like sculpture, the 2 circles on top of the nature, all these other forms that are just natural forms, except the bridge, this little triangle, but that's kind of subtle. And over here, it just kind of looks like a bad photo. These 2, it was about the variety of patterns. And when I printed it out, I see, it would be very, I would never use this composition to move forward with it. But I would use all the information of these different textures. So it'll be fascinating to see how I move forward. Now, the second one, before I printed the second, I wasn't sure if that was why the image didn't thrill me. And I'm not going to go through each one here, but same thing. I printed this one first. And I saw, that's pretty boring. So I printed it instead of from the PDF, I printed it from the InDesign file. And this is what I got, which makes me much, much happier that this is much more what I saw. I also want to call your attention to these horizontal lines. That's a result of also printing from the PDF file, a lower resolution. And on my printer, I end up with those lines. And you'll know why I've pointed that out. Usually I can ignore it and that's fine. But on the last page, something else happened, which was of interest to me. So you can see here, just really, this is the impact that makes me stop and take some of these photos that I take. And I'm just going to go through quickly the other photos. So this is going to take me months to work through. In case you didn't see the blog, that's why I'm showing you. These will be the first photos that I worked from. Those. And again, here, I love the patterns, but how would I turn that into something that was a powerful image? I'm not sure yet. Some of these I feel are strong images, but others, it was just a snapshot. I really wanted to remember this. Jill, do you remember where this is?
I think this is the National Botanic Garden of Wales.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these two are, and that one is too.
And also on your other sheet, there's inside the glass.
And that just thrilled me. This ladder, I was so glad to see that photo again. And I never did anything with that. Okay, so then there was this two more from, these two were all, these were from
National Botanic Gardens. That's the real, yeah.
And then and this came up, and InDesign, I didn't shrink it to fit into the box because I thought, oh, I kind of like that composition. So I let that go, and then I brought in, this was the actual photograph that I took. But I like having all that information for moving forward in whatever way I do. Then there is this one, just patterns and textures. This one, and in this, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there are these two yellow chairs and
yeah, I remember it from the blog. Yeah,
right, and a white bus with turquoise on the side. And that might be, oh, yes, I remember where it was. It was at a winery out in California or Oregon. But and then this is, I just love that shape. This was the balloon that we sent up into the outer atmosphere and then had to track it when it came down. This is just a found composition of a painting in progress, which is also what this was. And that's just a photo of me dressed up, modeling for Nicole to learn more about her camera. And I just love the design of the hand. So I'll do something with that too. Okay. Oops, two more. Okay, so there's this one. And this one. These I'm very excited about. Now this, can you see these lines?
Yes.
Okay. This was a reflection in water. And when I saw it on my monitor, I noticed that this part did not look like a reflection. It looked like it was the real thing. So I thought, where was that? Was it on a road? What, I couldn't remember where I photographed that. And so then I brought it up larger on my monitor and I assumed that these lines were similar to the ones that I showed you before. These. And I did get a notice that my printer was running low on some ink. But I thought, wow, that I've never seen lines so distinct and red. So I wanted to see what that was because I thought it was kind of intriguing. And when I zoomed in, I saw it wasn't my printer at all. Those lines were really there and they were part of this red thing. So I thought, oh, I could just see already. I was so excited. I mean, I had a tingling in my stomach. I thought, this is what this is about because I am over the top excited right now. I can't wait I just love looking at it. It reminded me a little bit of the direction I went with my orb paintings. But this for me, when I realized the layering and the different layers within the reality, I thought this is like the ultimate combination of my orb paintings and my pack series and the Strata series. So I wanted to see, I wanted more information. So I printed it bigger. And I may print it again bigger, but with a little bit more contrast. I still have no idea what it is. But now
it looks sort of like a ghostly image, doesn't it? And so to me, it's a ghost.
It does. I do think that it's water. I think this is sky being reflected. I think these are clouds being reflected. I think that this is some kind of metallic something on a road. This looks like it's a cover.
Like
I'm always taking photographs of street metallic stuff.
Yeah.
This looks like a shadow of some kind. So now this is where the observation comes in. I mean, my imagination is certainly already clicked in. My memory is starting to click in. I'm not sure where the meditation part came in this, but it will come in play when I start working on this. And then with the observation, I'll need to do research, go back. This makes me think of Tansy. I have to go back, find the original photograph, which I have. I'll get the information. I'll see what the date was when I took it.
Yeah, I was going to say what was the date and where were you?
Right.
That would-
Well, I'll be able to tell because I took it on my phone and it has all that information.
yeah.
People tell me what town, and then I'll go to that month because I have a record in all my little portable hard drives of the months, all the folders of the photos because I download them and I have copies. I'll be able to see what I took around it. And I'm sure of this, I must have taken probably 12 photos of the same thing with different angles. And I'll find out what it was. But before I find out what it is, I want to go the next step of developing the distraction. Because when I know what it is, it's going to taint my experience that I had this morning of seeing this. And I had to laugh because I was so excited that I thought, oh wow, this is why I'm doing these new sessions. Because I don't know how to encapsulate that or talk about it in a course lesson or anything. I mean, it's just what always drives me forward. I can see this as collage. I can see this as just pages worth of little thumbnails. I can see it as so many things. And I'll just find out. I think that these are water droplets, but I'm not sure about these. And there's so many fascinating elements of this. So that is the plan. And I may change it. I'll slip back to the other. Oops. Did you lose me completely?
No, there's a still of you
Okay.
out in the garden.
Oh,
Oh, nothing.
there?
There you
Okay.
are.
So that's, I thought that I would test this out, see how it goes, see what the recording looks like. And then move forward. So you will get a half-hour notice, but it's not, it's not crucial that you hop on then. You can hop on at any time and then you'll be able to see the recording. So
Yeah.
and the recording will be available that same day because as I said, unless I get really frustrated and start cursing or something, which I don't usually do, but if there's any reason or somebody watching starts saying things, then I would edit those out. But otherwise, it's just going to be going with the flow. I may not be talking very much. I may have music on. I'll only put on music that I have copyright permission for so that I can do that. Or I'll just have it in my ears so you don't hear it. And if it's dreadfully boring, you can play your own music. Because it's going to be on Zoom, you'll be able, well, I'll do it as a YouTube again so that you can flash through it. You can go back and forth and do that because, I wouldn't want to watch somebody working in real time when they're super focused and working slowly. So you're free to do whatever you want, to join, not join, but this also keeps me accountable to move forward with these thousands of photographs. And as I said, I can't prepare ahead of time because I'm not quite sure where it will go. Most likely it will start with some kinds of tracings, line drawings, thumbnails. I'm really hooked on thumbnails these days. But after that, if it starts going into collage, clearly because of my setup here, I won't be working larger. If I do work larger, I'll have a different setup. I'll have this this iPhone on a tripod in my main studio. And then, you can watch me that way, but I don't know. It may not get to that point. But if it does, that should be exciting too. So, you have any questions, Jill? Probably not. You
No,
know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, that's all very clear. Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes there are actually, I have watched television programs of people walking a long distance slowly, and just a very slow commentary and not a lot going on at all. So I do think sometimes it is appropriate to watch somebody working slowly.
Yes, I certainly learned a
You'll
lot,
race through everything.
right.
Sometimes it's nice.
And the two people I think of, Charles Reed, from whom I've learned so much. His work looks like it's done very rapidly. And in one of his books, he talks about how slowly he works, like his drawings, like the pencil or the ink sketch just looks so free. And he works really slowly, which was surprising to me. And the other, it was either Tansy or Jane Blundell, may have been Tansy, who in the Finding Your Color Voice workshop that I did online with her, the simple just stroke of color she did so slowly and meticulously. I was shocked because I never would have imagined that was the speed that she worked at. So I do think that it's valuable. I also think it's valuable to see how I may sit there for 10 minutes just looking and thinking. This will be different for me because I'll be talking to myself basically, which I sort of stopped doing a long time ago. So as a kid, I always talked to myself. So that might bring back more intuitive flow too. So thanks for joining me, Jill. And you'll never know until you get a little ding on your phone or your laptop or whatever you're on that I'm about to go live.
Great.
So we'll see. I would like, if you could look at the recording at some point later, just a few minutes, to tell me what the quality looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
And it should be the same as ever, but at some point I may try the live event room. It seemed to me that I didn't do that because the resolution was so bad. But with this setup, we'll see how that works. Okay, thanks.
Good.
Have a great day.
And you?
Thank you. Talk
Okay.
soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.